So, in the aspect of being informed, I was browsing around this wonderful ArcGIS provided by, you know, some people, S2 Underground, and I was browsing around through a couple different locations. So, I kind of come here to LA first, and I'm like, okay, he has a lot of things marked for different events that happen in different areas. He's been watching LA very heavily, got some things marked here. And then I got curious because with various protests going on as of today, because I'm recording it today because I forgot to do Friday and upload anything and didn't have anything ready. But I got curious about Utah because Salt Lake City is one of those areas and Provo and stuff noted for certain things. And there are like a few things in Utah that he has noted down in this particular like set and layer of the various maps that he's managing. But you can see that this one is mostly covering like protests or more kinetic activities. And so as I was going around, I went into Salt Lake City because that's what I was focused on. Like, okay, what is marked here is historical mass protest locations. So you've got the mass sign here. That's for mass protest. If I look at the key over here, oh, yeah, historic mass demonstration sites. Kind of important. You can click around in ArcGIS and it does a lot of cool things. But then I'm like, okay, what else is going on? Is there anything up further north? Ogden kind of makes sense. And then I'm like, I'm looking around at what the different icons mean. So, like, you've got the smuggling icon, so smuggling operation of some sort or fashion. And then you've got this one, let's see, vandalism. Some of them are marked, so it can tell you've got killings. And then, more kinetic explosive events and IEDs. I think that's pretty self-explanatory what that means. But what really got me up here was this one, a cyber attack. And so I'm like, what in the heavens is up here that would warrant in rural northern Utah, like out near like the small town of Plymouth, that a cyber attack would happen here? What is here that warrants such a thing? And so I looked at it. Let's see. There's like information about it, and it's a Nucor location. And Nucor was a victim of a cyber attack. So I Googled it because there was information when I clicked it there about see right here. Cyber attack at Nucor. And so I had gone and searched for it myself, and this is the article that I pulled up about it. So Nucor is obviously like big steel manufacturing company. They've got a few locations through northern Utah and probably a few other places in Utah as well. Obviously steel is very important in a lot of industries for building and whatnot. So the Nucor, let's see. So, Nucor, based in Charlotte, North Carolina, detected unauthorized third-party access to some of its computer systems. In response, the company quickly took affected systems offline and temporarily shut down certain production operations as a precaution. The breach impacted facilities across U.S., Mexico, and Canada. So, they're all over the place, obviously. Though Nucor has not disclosed specific locations or products affected, the company, which employs 32,000 people and reported $7.83 billion in revenue in the first quarter of 2025, is working with external cybersecurity experts and federal law enforcement to investigate the incident. While production has been restarting, the full scope of the disruption, including potential delays to customer orders or supply chain impacts, remain unclear. Let's see, the company began promptly taking steps to contain and respond to the incident, including activating its incident response plan, which is very good to have, proactively taking potentially affected systems offline, and implementing other containment, remediation, recovery measures. So these are probably part of the SOPs or their response plan, and that's pretty normal. You isolate affected systems so that they don't spread to other systems that are not affected as of yet. And then you remediate what's going on by removing it, and then recovery as necessary for your based on your remediation measures. Nucor has not confirmed whether data was stolen or if ransomware was involved. However, the incident mirrors recent attacks on critical infrastructure, such as the 2021 Colonial Pipeline ransomware attack, which caused widespread fuel shortages and panic buying. For steel manufacturers, even a temporary shutdown can ripple through industries like construction, automotive, and infrastructure development. So, obviously, it can be pretty important. So, let's see. Incident caused the company to temporarily suspend production. Company employs more than 32,000 people, 7.83 billion. I think they copy and paste a lot of this, it feels like. Disclosed via an 8K filing the firm submitted earlier today to the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Recently identified a cybersecurity attack involving an unauthorized third-party access. So they don't mention anything here, but they do have like second and third order effects listed there. Nucor also stated as notified law enforcement and engaged with external cybersecurity experts. So yeah, there's Bleeping Computers contacted the company to ask more information, but we are still waiting for a response. Let's see. So, in the 8K filing, let's do some zoom in. Material cyberware incident recently identified involving unauthorized third-party access. Abundance of caution. The company temporarily. Company is currently in the process of restarting the affected operations as the investigation of the incident is ongoing. The company will continue to monitor timing and materiality of the incident. Certain statements made in this report and other public filings, press releases, or other written or oral communications made by Nucor, which are not historical facts or forward-looking statements subject to the safe harbor provisions of the Private Security Litigations Reform. Okay, legalese, pursuant to the requirement. The registrant has duly caused this report to be signed on its behalf by the undersigned here unto duly authorized. Okay. So it's just a short report. Yeah. So the steel, big thing. So obviously there are some lessons learned that they note here on Steel Industry News. What? Steelindustry.news? Yeah, I think that's it. Huh. Yeah. Interesting. Anyway. So steel and manufacturing companies are especially vulnerable because of legacy systems. So a lot of manufacturing companies, I've noticed, like in certain areas, whether it be like granaries that I've been in or a couple other places, they run a lot of legacy systems, and that's because a lot of it is like OT, operational technology. So it's a lot of OT now is halfway integrated with the IT infrastructure, but those OT systems are oftentimes very out of date systems per se, because I guess in a lot of ways they don't tend to update things because they're not expected to be online or connected to the internet. But with the way that things are moving, more things are being connected to the internet, but there's still some networking and communication with OT infrastructure that it can still cause a security problem if you're not updating those systems. But when it works, and what's important to a lot of companies is that it continues to work. So updating can break things. So interconnected operations, again, as noted, IT and OT, creating more entry points for hackers. Supply chain pressures, a single day of downtime can disrupt contracts with builders, automakers, and infrastructure projects. So again, it's a huge supply chain. Steel is all over the place. Oh, I can drive by certain areas around where I live, and like, sure, the company has like piles of steel in their yards, but that steel may be already earmarked for someone else, or it may have been bought by someone else already. Or it's something that is not in demand per se. I don't know. I don't know all the details of steel specifically, but you see it, but I dare say that in a lot of cases, it's already called for. National security risk, steel is critical for defense, transportation, and energy sectors, making it high value for foreign attackers. Steel is strong, big, hold power pole, and make cool, tanky thing that go boom. Okay? Financial stakes are enormous. So yeah, billions of dollars between defense, energy, transportation, construction. It's a big industry. And when one provider goes down for a little bit and they've got contracts, and hopefully there's some understanding with some of these contract holders, but then at the same time it ripples downward as well. So best practices, keep software and systems up to date. Many factories use decades-old machines that cannot be patched for these systems, isolate them from the internet, and monitor them closely. So I think I've noted a little bit in the past how there are certain government entities that run on very, very old software. And what they do is they create a walled garden around that old system. And they end up moving, in essence, a mainframe to a virtual mainframe. But they never really update the system. But they've got this walled garden of security around it that says, you're here, you're safe. It's kind of like a walled garden for old people that are geriatric and dementiated, where you put them into this like nice little garden area and say, okay, it's fine, everything's fine. But they're really have this like big old protective dome around them as best they can to keep them safe. One, it keeps them in. Two, it keeps bad actors out. Control access to critical systems. Again, back to the dome thing around a walled garden for geriatric old people. You limit who can go in to like certain staff and all that are there to help maintain the health of the people inside the protective bubble. So only employees that need to access the equipment goes in, and not anybody that doesn't need to. If you've got contractors that are coming in to work on it, they have authorization to go in for that time period and then leave. But generally, they will probably have an escort. If you've got... but you want to keep anyone that doesn't have authorization or needed access to that part out. Train employees to spot red flags. This is a huge one. Honestly, avoid clicking unexpected links, verify requests for sensitive data, report suspicious activity. As noted in my Panda Express video, having trained employees that actually put into practice what they are taught is a big thing. You can have all the cybersecurity or security awareness training in the world, but if the staff is not actually like practicing it, then it's worthless. Because I'm sure I've been on locations where the manager has worked there for quite a while, and they are literally, what's the word? They don't know that, like, I'm coming, and they don't verify that I'm supposed to be there with their upper management, whereas that one Panda location did. There are a couple situations where they know I'm coming, it's a scheduled date, it's firm and set, okay? Sometimes, though, it can be difficult because with larger chains, there were certain situations where I was told that I was coming, and yes, I was late, but then I explained, hey, this is what happened, and I've still got more to do, and it's like, oh, and then it starts snowing, and it's like, you still got one more place to go? Yeah. It's like, I'm sorry. Those situations I can appreciate. These situations where I've been called in to work on stuff while employees are there prepping for the day because they don't open until like middle of the afternoon, and they're doing employee training while I'm doing work. that's also something I can understand. It's sure you're in there at a time when there are no customers, when it would be a lot easier to do certain things, but at the same time, you're the one person that is supposedly contracted to do things, and it's a lot easier to keep an eye on you when you're asking for things because you're the one outsider in this group of people that have already been verified and vetted. So you've got, in essence, a lot more eyes that are able to keep track of you because no customers are in there to keep track of as well. But you've got to put it into practice. Again, I've been on sites where customers have been there, and it's like I've got access to whatever, and the employees have to manage customers on top of keeping track of what I'm doing. And oftentimes the manager is off in a corner doing something else. But this is where having all your staff trained, not just your managers, is important. Because your employees that are there on the floor when the manager isn't looking can spot these flags as well and report it as well. If you don't train them, then it's worthless. It bothers me how in some situations that I've been in, I see people that like, oh, it's fine, I don't need to train everybody about these awareness things. And it's like, yes you do. Because even the people in the back that don't get this training, if they're not trained on it, then they're not going to be able to spot it, and they're not going to say anything when that suspicious dude comes in and starts causing havoc unbeknownst to everyone else. So having everybody trained and aware of the red flags to look for, especially when it's an in-person engagement, is important. Backup data and test recovery plans. Again, this is something you don't just like wing it when it happens. You have processes set up. You've got your equipment tested. You are double checking that, hey, is this really going to work and back everything up and recover where I want it to recover? And that's one situation that I am halfway working on currently, because I'm looking at switching some things around, and I've got to double check and see that like certain processes are going to work, and I've got hardware that I can test with to see if I can move this stuff around to back it up and then move it back in order to get things working. So always be ready to test your equipment. Prepare an incident response plan. Again, this is like Nucor had a response plan planned. You can honestly steal playbooks from other places and then adapt it for your needs. So you've got who to contact. So I think you've even got response plan templates that you can steal from places. You just fill in like who you're going to contact, what order, steps to isolate different things, where and when, and communication strategies for employees and stakeholders. From what I hear, Waffle House has this in spades for every ridiculous situation, to like from base, in essence, bar fights to car crashes into the front of the restaurant, and we're still operating even though we've got a big ol' semi-shaped hole in the front of our restaurant. We're still operating. We're still going. The only time you're going to see Waffle House drop is when it's the last moments of a hurricane and there's maybe no building left. And even then, I think they've got a plan for, like, if the kitchen gets obliterated. It's like, we've got this backup over here. And other Waffle Houses have supplies to supply a Waffle House that's near them, just in case the one Waffle House runs out of material because they can't do it. To the point that FEMA watches Waffle House, like, uses Waffle House as a metric to determine how bad a natural disaster is getting. Okay, Waffle House is an incident response plan, and if there's anyone you want to steal one from and adapt, it might be Waffle House. Work with cybersecurity experts. Again, This is a biggie one, but yeah. And third-party with third-party vendors, people that are disinterested in things like that. I think I got the big ones, honestly. I'm a little like too over time, in my opinion, but yeah. If you liked the content, if you enjoyed it, if you think I deserve it, like, comment, subscribe, leave any criticisms you have or what have you. I appreciate it. Feed that algorithm, like I said, and I will see you guys in the next one.